What's going on, guys? Live on Hot Topic, Copville, Jordan Ennis, member of the Not Fucking Around crew. Let's get it. Here we are, weekly show, Hot Topic. We got some stuff to discuss. Jordan, I appreciate you coming back, dude. You there?
Yep.
Maybe. There we go.
Yeah, I'm here.
So you guys got big news. You made a hiring up there in San Diego. You're one spot. You made a hiring.
Yeah, we did. We did. Well, actually, we had another guy retire, so we're about to have another one. But we did fill our first one. A Floridian is going to make its trek up to Georgia and come be a member of the Sand Springs.
I heard a South Florida guy, and I'm sure he's excited about that because I know where he worked before, and that's not exciting. So you said he's squared away, dude, huh?
Yeah. I haven't met him yet, but everybody I talked to said he's squared away. Fucking big jack dude, ready to get going. So he'll be a good fit, man. I'm excited to meet him.
Good. We talked a little bit this week. I went up to actually put some pictures up. I went up to OTOA. I'm going to throw some of those up real quick before we get into the hot topic. Yeah. Let's see. Image file. I went up to NTOA in DC, and we were in Princess George County, which I'm not sure if you remember them, but they have that
PG County. Yeah.
You remember the video?
No, I know PG County, but no.
Okay, so PG County had the white ball-headed jack dude that was caught getting in the back seat of the car with the black female in like an apartment complex, and somebody's up on like the second floor.
No.
So I'll tell you a funny story before I show a couple pictures from up there. Their command staff is walking around. Here comes a PG guy with the white shirt on, and he walks up and he's like, he looks at the sign. I got my big pink Copville sign. Looks at me and I'm like, yeah, it was me. I was like, I kicked that guy. He kind of like gave me a smirk and I said, hey man, I said, your buddy decided to get a back seat with a chick. I said, I didn't do it. He's like, he's not my buddy. And he like stormed off. But to give you an idea, like we had the Copville booth set up with counterculture, and I called these guys the Tan Backpack group. I thought they were just like randomly showing up, but I guess everybody that had entry to the event got a backpack, handy dandy. No, that's a notebook backpack. I also linked up with one of my favorite people. Where's he at? Remove Keith Pearson, the civilian director to civilian law enforcement for he's number 4 in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. He's appointed by President Trump. The funniest thing about this, so we're talking, he tells me how he likes to drive the Democrats insane. That shirt he is wearing, if you zoom in, that is the election map results for the 2024 election that shows all the red and the little bitty blue dots that are on the shirt. So he says he wears that. Trolling. Yeah, he bought a bunch of them. He said, "Where's that around all the Democrats when he's at the Capitol and in his meetings?" And they absolutely love it. But he was telling me some stories, and they're doing, obviously, big Trump supporter, America First. They're doing. I think there's a little more excitement for them than for Border Patrol than there is for Sandy Springs. I got to tell you, I'm sorry, but he said they have 21,000 new applications this year since they started hitting those recruiting videos and.
Solid, yeah.
So he was the non-St. Lucie guy that was doing like the, we're not doing that, chasing the bad guys and all that stuff. So he took that mentality to the Fed level for all those agencies, and he's actually rolling up to briefings for like Border Patrol roundups and telling them like, go get them. We got your back. We're here to deport people. We're here to do what President Trump was elected to do, and that's what we're doing. So he's doing some good things there for America. Really good dude. Paid for my lunch. So he's a really
I thought there was I was like randomly came to my feed. It was like Border Patrol was like a bunch of like raptors, like wrapped in like gold.
Oh, he told me about that. So those are their recruiting. Yeah, they're not all ripping those. He told me.
I know. Those are the recruiting. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah. He did say they're already getting. So the Biden administration, if you can believe this, not only did they appoint a bunch of clowns and hire a bunch of clowns that he's having to unfuck. Because they were, 4 years of hiring people that were told, don't bother going after anybody. We're not doing any of that. Just kind of hang around. So he's having to like remotivate an entire federal agency. But they didn't buy him cars either. They were letting these guys sit around in old cars. They didn't care about them. So he's going behind them and having to buy like massive amounts of cars and trucks and re-outfit them. And so if people think, oh, well, it's just an election, it doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count. Well, you voted for a guy for 8 years that depleted the forest, hired idiots, let the vehicles get completely unusable, and now you have an administration that's having to spend money to backfill all that and catch that up. So that's how important elections are.
Yeah.
And let's see what we got here. You see the Border Patrol agent that was found dead in his home recently? No. I mean, I'm sure if he got arrested, he might have done something bad. So what I want to talk, the first one I want to talk about, this one that's going viral this week.
And instead of addition to Legion's code, we got our own co-op. He's armed with some type of
Drop that shit.
roller, metal roller. Drop it.
Right now.
Industry units,
Drop that. Hey, go inside.
Go inside. Go inside.
Go inside.
Texas armed. They are tonight 7 on Willow.
Nope.
Unit 111.
Let's run that back. A paint roller. Just for anybody watching at home that's not up on this, this is a paint roller.
Units,
Drop that. Hey, go inside.
Go inside. Go inside.
Go inside.
Texas armed. They are tonight 7 on Willow.
Nope.
Unit 111.
Thoughts, my friend?
Well, all right. Other than not knowing the fucking backstory.
And let's set a disclosure. We are here to talk about a hot topic. We are not here to bury guys and convict guys and tell everybody in the world, tell the world these guys are bad people. We have little clips that you have. We're taking it for what it's worth. We have a paint roller.
Yep. Paint roller versus gun. No, it's fucking retarded. Is that California or was it
California?
Shocking. No, I mean it's like there's a million other ways. Like there's no like there's force plus 1, right? Well, a paint roller and a fucking to a gun is force plus 50. I couldn't even really think of a way that you're going to get really rolled up by a paint roller to the point where you need to dump somebody.
Hold up, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see what you did there.
But
paint his brain. You can't paint his brains all over the car.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's stupid. That's again their whatever their prior situation was. They're clearly on fucking 10, and even if Dude Buddy has lethal, right? Well, he's got you can hear guys behind him. So where's his fucking partner with less lethal? Someone's gonna have the big stick, and then someone's gonna have the other stick always if you want to. But yeah, going magged up in somebody over a paint roller is stupid.
So, and I agree 100%. And the part that really like makes me cringe is because I could play devil's advocate and justify a paint roller could go through your eyeball and your brain, all kind of wild stuff if you want me to. He threw it. Yeah. So he's unarmed at that point. He chucked it. I see a little bit of like, obviously he's at level 10, probably higher if we have 120. Unknown object in his hand. Then he like catches that it's maybe a paint roller. You can hear him in the transmission kind of saying that. And then you're right. They're out, dude. You could just tackle that guy. You could have somebody, you could keep him focused on you. A guy shoots around the corner. And I don't want a Monday morning quarterback. It's a high tense situation. Don't know why they're there. Maybe they're there because there's a rifle. Who knows? Yeah. But that's what we got.
Yeah. But like I said, that's it. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard first of all, it'd be hard to drop him with a paint roller in the first place. And second of all, when he loses the paint roller and now he doesn't have a paint roller anymore and it's just nothing, and then you dump him, it's going to be hard for him to, they might squeak out of that one. That could turn into some lawful but awful shit. But I mean, for me, looking at that, whatever, 11 seconds of what it was, it's a bad shoot all day.
Yeah. And, I talked to, good friends with Dom Izzo, and he did a story about it. And his continuing theme is that we are, and if this is allowed, and this goes by as justified, even from a aggressive COD standpoint, you already said bad shoot. I feel the same way. We went through the whole Black Lives Matter, the whole Derek Chauvin, the whole Eric Garner. We went through all those cases and fought to like they were, I believe, all those. Well, George Floyd's on the fence, but almost every one of them, the guy in St. Louis, Breonna Taylor, like I believe the cops were right in all those situations. Like I haven't seen other than the Chauvin, George Floyd one I have some issues with, but we're usually doing pretty well as far as people hate it. There's riots, but usually they're decent shoots, or we can be like, hey, if you let something like this go by, and what Izzo is saying is we're not training enough and we're not prepared enough, and now we're getting to this point where you have no other option because you've never been punched, you've never trained, you never ran this scenario through your head, you're busy making TikToks, whatever it may be, and you're going straight to your gun, and you cannot in any world, you cannot shoot a human being with a paint roller in his hand. Like you can't, unless it's got knives wrapped around it and like it's like an electric, like some type of super weapon.
No,
you can't do it.
Nope.
And that's where being not being devil's advocate or Monday morning quarterbacking the people in the decision, but like I would rather Monday morning quarterback how prepared they are. Do they train jujitsu? Do they have like solid briefing, solid agency training? Because I look at this, like you said, taser, less lethal taser should be always. There's multiple people there. Yeah. But bro, it's a fucking paint roller. Like you can.
My thing is like, so his reaction most of the time, our reactions are, it's just like you're training whatever, but it's like a gut instinct reaction. So it's not something prior to that. The guy's gut instinct was to pull his gun out, and like there's a lot of times, man, if you watch the like a lot of guys have a problem, transitioning. They commit to like their whatever weapon system they are, like their body goes, oh fuck, we need a insert weapon level, right? We need a gun. Well, you go into a gun and then you have it, and then a lot of guys you watch, they don't transition out of it because they get so locked into what it is they're doing, even if the situation de-escalates or it turns out to be something that you didn't think. They're still there. And how many times you see people take off running and they have a gun in their hand and they're like sprinting down the road with a gun in their hand? You're like, dude, you can't do anything with it now, right? Just switch to something else. But it's hard to watch a lot of guys, like that. You need to have that understanding or the calmness in the situation to understand. Like, oh, back it up and go back down. And he, like I said, whatever the situation happened that prior to, he went to his gun quick. And I've done guys in the past that I've worked with that for their first instinct was always go to a gun, always. And most of the time, that's not what you need. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that there, but that was their thing, and they would transition out of it, but they would always go lethal out the gate. It was weird to see because I'll be honest with you, I'm probably like thinking about it. There's been times where I either was going to go hands because so I'll put my paws on you as fast as I can, and I probably. Like was either I was fast enough to bypass whatever danger I was already in, but there was definitely times where like I definitely should have been lethal instead of being either heavy hands or whatever it was like that. Because I'm always like I don't go lethal fast because it adds a step to whatever you're doing, because the odds are you're going to have to come back from it, and it's going to add a step where you have to transition back to whatever it is you were doing, where you can either come back and you already got your hands are empty, and you can either transition to just dumping somebody or jumping on somebody, which is most of the time what you're going to need. You're going to be fine. Yeah.
So and I can only talk about calls I've been involved in, so don't please anybody take this as like I'm talking about myself. But I remember a call where we had a stabbing, and I did a U-turn. It was like in the hood at a gas station or barbershop. I see the guy jump out. I got my gun. First one there. I'm by myself. Point my gun at him. He kind of walks in the backyard next to a car, and I'm giving him commands. And then one guy very smartly comes from the other side of the house and cuts him this way. And then the other guy goes to my left, and we got him triangled in with a fence. So the next communication out of my mouth is, one of you transition to the taser. And the guy to my right transitions. I said, I got lethal. Guy to the left, again, he doesn't. I got a gun. So this dude's smoked. I can hit him from that close. And ends up the dude to my left jumps across the top of the car, zaps the dude. He hits the ground. We run in, grab him, and he had dumped the knife, but we couldn't tell. He had like his hand wrapped up in a shirt, so we couldn't tell if he still had it. Calmly, and the body cam's out there. If I can get it, I'll get it, and just show the difference in it's calm. And when I say that, I think you see a lot of those situations where guys use force or have their gun out, and they're calm. They've been through that. And you can't always train for it. So if your first one may look like hell, your first 5 may look like hell or sound like hell, but you perform. But eventually you're going to get to the point where you realize screaming, drop the gun versus, hey man, drop the gun or I'm going to smoke you. It's the same effect. It doesn't matter how loud you get. It doesn't matter how you scream it. If you're under control. And I think sometimes personally, if you look at a dude dead in the face and you say, hey bro, I'm going to blow you. I'm going to shoot, whatever you want to say calmly. That dude scares me more than a dude going, it's like this dude's out of control. Even the bad guys got to like, this dude's nuts. So that's
another part of that is like they've had it's transition in the past years of like verbal judo, and you just want to talk people into fucking handcuffs. And like it's like like I said before, like use of force is never good. Like it never looks good, no matter how easily you do it. If you use force on a person, but the force is there to achieve an outcome. That's all it is. What level it is to achieve the same outcome. The outcome is to control the situation. Whether you have to just talk to some dude calmly or blow his head off, it all gets to the conclusion. But so many times, like you watch it like forever, they're talking, or walking down a road, or walking down a sidewalk, or walking through a house, talking. It's like, just for the love of God, man, just try do. It obviously ain't working. You don't get any points. You don't get style points for talking them into whatever. Just accomplish your job. Put them in handcuffs. Go about your fucking day.
And that's where I get that they either haven't trained to be in that scenario, they've never been in it, or they're not thinking that can happen.
Yeah, and there was like plenty of times it was like, oh, you could have told him this. I could have told him all this other stuff, or I could have done exactly what I did. Ask, tell, make. Right? Hey, man, can you please do whatever? All right, check it out. You're under arrest now. You're doing whatever. No, whatever. Bop bop. Ride the fucking lightning. Whatever it is you're going to do. Turn them upside down. Introduce them to gravity. Whatever. It works. It's over. It's done. Right? It's just your task has been accomplished. And too many guys, you get yourself into a situation because you're like, and there's a point. I'm all for finding, like, I like a challenge of finding the absolute worst person that hates me the most and try to make them be my buddy. I'm cool with that. I like that the best. Right? I want to be invited to the cookout afterwards. We're done with this shit. I really, really do. But from doing it for long enough, I know who that's going to work on, who that's not going to work on. I know if we go into a situation where you're like, well, this ain't the time to talk. This is the time to act, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. But you like a lot of guys, especially young cats, like, well, I'll go down and I teach at the academy or whatever was it that, and then we'll go down and you'll like, and there's the first time doing it, and they don't even have they don't have any real direction. Like they're not being told to take this much time to do whatever. They've been through the basic classes or whatever, but the hesitation to act is wild. Yeah. with the young, and you can explain to them like, this is okay. You're gonna be fine. You're allowed to do all of this, and I know you're new at it, but their natural reaction is to be super, super timid and to avoid force, which is weird. Because if you watch like the older guys, you got like the guys back in the day. The first one was like, you didn't what, and you kind of go from there. Yeah,
I remember one of the first use of forces. I was in FTO with a guy that used to work for NYPD and another guy, and this dude was on the back porch, and he basically did the old, with three of us, he's like, fuck you, I'm not listening. My dude from New York was my FTO, looked at me, looked at the other dude, and I'm in that, like I said, phase 3. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And he said, I'm not fucking going, and I'm not doing that. And the guy's like, yeah, you are. He's like, no, I'm not. Next thing I know, his feet are in the air. He's going through like a glass table, and I'm kind of in that no man's land of like, I know. At the end, he's like, why the fucking you jump in? This is dog pile days. This is 2001.
Polyester pile up.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what we were supposed to do. And then, ironically, the next time it happens in phase 4, I level some kid. And then the FTO is not down like that and looks at me and goes, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I thought we knocked people on the ground. Like,
the problem.
Can y'all figure out which one I'm supposed to do? I'm either knocking them around and jumping in the dog pile, or I'm not. Like, you guys got to get this under control. So I get that hesitation, but the hesitation is normal. Like the very beginning of your career, it's normal. Yeah. But when you and I can't remember the term my wife uses, but when those guys get in that the Groundhog Day command, like they just get it. They get one command in their head because they're very stressed, and it's get on the ground, and like 27 seconds into the contact,
just a broken record, man.
Yeah, maybe that's what she says. It's just a broken, and they have no other tools. When you look at that guy, I don't want a Monday morning quarterback. His tactic, I want to know why. Your brain froze into that, and you didn't think about all those other things and all those other options you had to do something.
That's the same thing you talk about, like the broken record thing. How many times have you seen somebody like tase someone and they don't get a good connection, but you can see him keep cycling the taser. They know if you talk for a second, they know it's not going to work. It is not going to magically reconnect and drop it. But they're sitting there just cycling the taser over and over and over again. There's no connection. You just have a stapler in your hand.
You see that?
You got nothing. But they are just so locked in whatever decision that they made that they're just and they're the guys closing distance or whatever it was like that. They got nothing else and then they get jumped on. You see that shit all the time.
There's that one, or they forget to go hands on while the guy's under the power of the taser. And
Yeah.
They just stand there and watch him, and the dude jumps up, and they're like, "Oh wait," like all those things. There's little details, and even if the video I was talking about with me, the dude tases him, and I actually have a 1 second stand there, do nothing. I go, "Oh," and I think I say out loud, "Get him under NMI," and I fucking take off running to him, and I get to him just as he's coming out of the 5 seconds, and he's a little skinny black dude. I was able to jump on him and grab him, but even me going, "Ooh, that's cool. He's tased," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I want to get him before he comes out of it." So I like take off up there. So even well trained and thinking through these things, we all have brain lapses. But when you see a guy like you said, there's one real bad video. I'm sure we've all seen it where they walk a guy like a half a mile down the road with a knife, just yelling at him and there's another one where I think he ends up making it into like a plaza and like takes off after citizens and stuff. So now there's the bad one we talked about, or not one. I'm gonna show this one. This one is pretty squared away.
Kilograms of baggage included. But now, with JetBlue Holidays. Holidays you can trust. At
One more time, because that's a good one.
2 kilograms of baggage included. But now, with JetBlue Holidays. Holidays you can trust.
Very well done. And that it actually looks like the other guy has no idea what he's doing, and the guy who does is being hindered, which is a big complaint of my wife.
In the front, it gets in your way.
Yeah, because that was a great takedown. And what does he do? Immediate side control, gets heavy, gets on top, and that's textbook jiu-jitsu training and having a plan. And when he runs up, it's not chaos. He knows exactly. You can see
he's calm. You can tell by his body posture. He's ready. He's like, I'm here for it. I don't know what your plan was, Steve. But we're going to do this shit. He wasn't even trying to talk him down from not doing it. He's like, we're going to run this shit right here.
And you watch that and you go, there it is. Like, how hard is that to learn? That's you're learning that in the first week of jiu-jitsu. You're learning takedowns.
Did you talking about knife? Did you see there was for whatever reason, I want to say Arizona or somewhere west. The guy that walks up to the door, guy rushes him with a knife, starts stabbing him, and then he gets a double A, takes him down, gets stabbed a shitload of times.
I did not recent.
Yeah, man, it's on my feed now. I don't know if it's recent, but I've never seen it before. So he walks up to a door, walks up, opens the door. Dude rushes him. He goes right for a double leg. The guy starts stabbing him in his side. Picks
Is this the one that the chick's not wearing a vest in?
No. They got outer carriers and stuff on. I want to say it's new. We'll find out. We'll do that one next time. But like that was fucking wild. And how he didn't take, I don't know if he took damage. I want to find out about it because I don't know if he took damage because he took some shots. So, and like the wife or the mother or something, mom's coming out trying to keep pulling the knife away, and he keeps telling her back up. He has great situational control. He has great fucking takedown, great physical control, but he's aware that he has a knife. But he also doesn't. He just keeps getting stabbed, and he never transitions to a weapon. Never does anything. He ends up stripping the knife and throwing the knife away, and he controls it. But he takes, I want to say, like maybe half a dozen stabs without even a transition to it. Never goes to a weapon or anything. But he's super calm the whole time. Handles it really, really well, and I really like to know the backstory on that one.
Yeah, and there's the tale of like 2 videos of untrained or not mentally prepared versus a guy. I mean, you can see that guy in that last video. He's walking. He already knows what he's going to do when he gets.
Yeah, he has a whole plan. He's like, I've been waiting, motherfucker. I've been waiting for you all day. Like, let's go.
He's like, I've been rolling that mat, get my ass whipped for a week. Like, today's the day I'm going to get to use it, and thank God it's on video. So I'm going to add this one in. This is where you wanted to talk about. I'm going to let it play. This is the article. Maybe might not be any sound. Hold on. There we go. Why is it not playing sound? There we go.
Johnson's live near I-85, and Matt, all this started with some folks trying to
this
sell
is
a Mercedes.
That's right, because even before those suspects
play the sound on your end?
on I-85,
Okay, so
just minutes earlier, they're accused of carjacking a man for his Mercedes.
So this is up your way?
Yeah, man, this is Sewanee. This is like 30 minutes, maybe like northeast of where we're at. This is my dude Dustin. He's a spec ops guy up there.
Teamwork that brought down 2 armed robbery suspects in a stolen Mercedes.
He's cruising, huh?
Hey, man, 135. They don't pit it 135.
GPS tracking.
Our policy is 60.
Yeah, 135, zero hesitation came up. That was fucking beautiful.
To sell his car
Beautiful.
to Violin for the
What was the charge?
victim.
Let's go back one more time and watch that. We'll watch it from
During a car
for
sale
the
in Hall
people watching
County.
at home. We'll hit it again. This is the most exciting part of the
During
show.
this
Surely it's not
chase, it
me.
was high-tech tracking,
135 kids.
135, baby. Zero hesitation. Yep.
Right in. Right in.
He doesn't even come out of his lane.
Turn to GPS tracking inside of the stolen Mercedes after they say two
So
men
this is the
carjacked the other
NFAC.
at
That's the
gunpoint near
NFAC
Lakeshore Hall.
approach to law enforcement.
Yeah, and that's the funny part about like working in Metro or doing crime in Metro Atlanta. You have like the worst like Russian roulette because so the county that he works in ain't gonna fucking do that, right? But you go through his town, and that's exactly what happens, right? So there's little spots where you're gonna do the same thing. So like the cities that surround us, no. But you fly too close to the sun, you come into us, and that's how it goes. Which is why it's funny. You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful because if you like some counties, like Clayton County, the PD doesn't do shit, can't do shit. But the SO, they'll just start cutting limbs off your family tree, man. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, and that's the difference. But to me, that's the difference between like real and not real. Like you cannot be cops unless you're willing to do that dangerous stuff. And criminals have to be held accountable. And allowing your citizens, dude, if you roll that fucking guy over, who cares? Yeah. Who cares if he rolls over 73 times and his brains go one way and his feet go the other? That's his problem. Yeah. So why, when I see that, I go, every citizen should go, I'm sleeping good tonight. Like I know those guys right there they're going after bad guys. That guy's not.
Yeah, that was fast too. So we have a huge group chat where we all talk in, right? So they put that, and because that's faster than any dispatch because we're all piped in. So that came out. They got notified. That was in the county north of the county that Dustin works in. It came out. They said, "Hey, this is what it is." We start flocking it, right? They start tracking it. Him and all the spec ops guys were already on the interstate. They were like already like right there. So within like within a minute, they got behind it, and within another minute, the dude was piled up in a wall. It was great. It was good. Yeah.
And that's, and we've talked about this before. I'm gonna say it briefly, just like we talk about the taser training and the gun training and the stress training. If you're not trained to do that, and you have some wild policy that only allows you to do like 9 things, like ours had, the old pursuit policy had like throwing a missile from a car, like bomb, like all these wild allegations that are never going to happen. Yeah. What happens when somebody shoots a child? What happens when somebody runs over a child or somebody does something that is just outrageous and then you've never practiced chasing a car before? So you're only allowed to chase. Bank robberies are old. That bank robberies are just about gone. Maybe armed robberies at gas stations in some places. Bank robberies out. Doesn't happen. They do it through fraud now. But those few things, your buddy gets popped. You're a cop, you're driving around town, no pursuit policy. Your buddy, the right one rolls through town and, smokes one of your friends or shoots one of your friends at working. And now you got to go rely on 5, 6, 8 cops in this county, state, or town that have never deployed stop sticks under stress, have never driven under stress other than going to like a barking cat call or something, never pursued a car for any of those 8 things that are on the magic list. Where do you reach? It's just like not going to jiu-jitsu and not shooting and not training. What skill set do you reach to go, today's the day we're going to perform?
Yeah, that was always the thing. Like if you're like, I always said, like you're either going to chase or you're not. There's no like, well, you're maybe going to kind of sort of, and if you chase, you better like, there's some agencies that still here, like they'll chase. I mean, I'm talking like for anything, but they cannot pit or have any involvement to end it. So they'll chase you forever. And the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to hit some little family from Iowa and kill a bunch of people that, you couldn't have. Like if you chase and don't pit or ram or do something, that's horseshit. You should just don't even do it if you're going to do it. So if you're going to kick off chases and like, oh, only chase for this, not for that. When it comes out at the end of it, like especially in Georgia, in the law, it doesn't have to reach a level of, it doesn't have to be a felony. It doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be violent for you to chase. In Georgia law, you can just fucking chase cars. You can, right? So it's like, this was a whatever. We can justify. You don't have to justify shit. You're going to get sued anyway. You can, if you chase a murderer and they die or someone gets hit, you're still going to get sued. The exact same thing was. And in your lawsuit, they're not going to be like, oh, well, he was a murderer. We're going to throw this lawsuit out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you either do it fucking all the way or just let your criminals be criminals and go about and just go sit in a parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, that's the way I feel, and you can't you can't save it for those rare events. Like it's not. It's like saying I'm going to buy lottery tickets and become rich. Like it just chances of you getting a bank robbery, all those in a small town, they're almost there's just no chance. At the time that something happens that you need it, you have no well to go pull from. You have no experience to pull from, and now you're actually you're putting the citizens at a greater danger by never have trained
your skills are lower.
Yeah. You got guys that can't go like 8 over. They're the new technology, the axons and stuff. They go like 10 over the speed limit. They're getting like a notification in their email. Their sergeant is getting a notification that the guy was going.
If you take away, like especially like it's a lot of the shit we do is like on the job training, right? Or you get better at it, right? So there was the same thing. There was an agency. They changed it now, luckily, because new chief came in and you got away with it. But dude, if they braked too hard, they got like a driving violation. If you accelerated too hard, you got a driving violation. If you went 11 miles an hour over the speed limit, you got a driving violation. Well, fuck, man. So when do you have to like those things you're doing? You can't even in Atlanta traffic. You can't even do those things because you can't even drive that way because you're going to hold up traffic or cause accidents because you're driving way beyond or whatever. So you have zero skills when it comes to something responding. You can't even respond to a call. You can't even respond to a call effectively because you're not allowed to drive aggressively at all. And I'm not saying drive like an asshole because there's a trooper that he just got found guilty of vehicular homicide today. I knew him. I actually lived at the barracks when he was a trooper, got fired. But like he was doing like 90 miles an hour with like no lights, no sirens, and he car pulled out in front of me, hit him and killed him. I got it. So there's that, and then there's also the whole complete opposite direction where you drive like slower than my dad, and you're not going to have any skills when it comes to doing it. So there's a balance. There has to be a balance.
Yes, but the bottom line is, I think we get away from. We're willing to take the down in Florida, especially. We're willing to not wear a vest to work. We're willing to take the risk of having untrained people on the streets. We're willing to take the risk of not training jujitsu. We're willing to take all these risks, but we're not willing to go out there and smash bad guys and think maybe one of them rolls over and gets killed. Maybe they get pitted into a tree. Because if you notice, even there, like people drive near that speed on the interstate anyway. Like it's not like people are going 110 on the interstate commonly with traffic. So you're going 110 on the interstate chasing a guy. What's the difference?
And
small
cars,
town,
the cars are so people always think like whatever, like a pit. So I'm acting. Cars are remarkably safe. They're like that. So he did that at 135, and that guy got out and took off running. He didn't even get hurt. The guy didn't even get hurt. Cars are incredibly safe. So people think that chasing, pitting, and doing whatever and wrecking them out and crashing them, that means it's an automatic death sentence for whoever you're chasing. First of all, it doesn't matter because they made this decision, right? This is they have to live with this or not live with this. Fine, they do it. It doesn't matter. That's not a fact. The factor is you protect life of the people that they endanger. He made a decision to endanger himself. Same thing for me. I make the decision to endanger myself when I go after these dickheads. So if something happens, I knew the risk associated with it. I did. My job is for something to happen. It happens to me or happens to the bad guy, and it doesn't happen to the people that we're trying to protect, right? So you can't go like, oh, maybe the what if game. The what if game is a slippery slope, man. You can what if yourself into not even you being mall cops if you want to. It just depends on where you draw the line of where you want to take a stand. If like we're going to do this, it might not be the popular opinion, but we're going to do it because it's the best way we know how to serve the people that we protect. That's how it goes.
Yep. I got to pay the bills.
What's up, everybody? So I just want to give a quick shout out to Ghostbed, one of the OG first-time sponsors of the Anti-Hero podcast back in the day. They've been with us since day one because they have the widest variety of beds and bedding for the lowest price. I would suggest checking out their patented cooling sheets. They keep you cool on summer nights, especially people that live in hot-ass states like we do in Florida. I speak with the VP on a regular basis. He's become a good friend of mine. We stand by and guarantee ghost bed. So if you're going to replace a mattress in the house or you're going to redo the sheets because your kids peed on them or your mother-in-law peed in it, whatever it is, go to ghostbed.com/culture and save 10% off the already ridiculously low prices.
All right. I posted. I'm gonna pump myself here for a second. I want everybody watching. I posted an episode today, this morning, noon, whatever it is. It's called The Memo. I posted on my story yesterday. It was the 1-year anniversary of The Memo. kind of like the shot heard around the world, where I supported the other candidate for sheriff on August 20th, and on August 26th, I walked into a memo transferring me to the jail as a corrections deputy, removing me from SWAT, removing me from specialty pay, removing me from clothing allowance, and essentially ending my career of overtime and being able to make money due to the way the jail set up. I was not certified in the jail. I was not a jailer. I'd never been. I was going to have to go back to the academy. And one more caveat to that was, due to transfer and the way the policy is written, since I was going to another job, which would have been corrections versus LEO, my seniority would have been 0. So after 20 years at the agency, I would now be, done. What's the reason? Like, I still want the reason, even though I'm pretty, I'm not intelligent. I'm street smart. So I'm like, I get what's going on here. So what I was told to my face from the deputy chief wasn't any performance problems, wasn't any legal problems, wasn't any IA problems. I told you posting on Facebook was going to be a problem. You went to the debate and you sat next to Lonnie Rich, who Lonnie Rich was the third in charge at one point, who has his own story about getting railroaded out after 30 years of dedicated service, no cake, no ice cream, no party. So basically I was told it was retaliation. So, I mean, it's a good episode to watch if you, like we've talked about before, if you think your administration is jam up, and I'm not talking about a place like yours. Like, obviously everybody has problems, but you can walk into the agency and or work there and know what I'm talking about. But if you see that and that starts to happen to you, where there's a chain of events that I had, I'm very transparent. I was too scared to say anything. I was too worried about losing my job. I was too worried about speaking up until it was kind of too late. And then I finally did speak up, and it happened anyway. But my point for that episode was just to kind of shed some light on what can happen, and you need to document things, keep things written down, and hopefully about 10% into what I went through, you do what me and Jordan talked about last week, is go find a good agency like Sandy Springs Police Department and transfer, because living in constant panic and misery is worse than any call you're ever going to go on. So check that episode out. It's on my YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio. And it kind of breaks down how they can just, in Florida anyway, we talk about the sheriff having too much power. They can literally do whatever they want and move you anywhere they want. So that's my rant for the night.
I think especially a lot of your guys that come on here, shit, man, me too. I was the exact same thing as that. I mean, I got railroaded by shit administration, and it's just like, and it was funny because there was on one day, I was literally the poster child for the agency, and I was beating the governor, and they were rubbing my shoulders, and they were doing this and they were doing that. But the problem with that was I was a problem for them from the beginning, and they just made the decision to go and railroad me. They knew it was going to happen. The way they did to me, they knew it was going to happen. They didn't expect me to stay. And to be honest with you, not that they owed me anything. Well, fucking yeah, they did. They owed me something. If they had just said that my time there was done, I was done there anyway. I'd have left and gone about my own accord. But I mean, you go through and like you said, you get stuck. So for me, I would have had to wait for an entire regime change, to get out from, like, for state patrol, you get blacklisted. And I remember when all that shit happened. Just like I had talked to the major, the one who demoted me and everything. And I was like, hey man, you gonna do a reference? And he was like, why would you leave? And I was like, come on, dude, like, get out of here. What? It's like, this is not, I remember, it's like, dude, this is nothing you can't come back from. I was like, I don't want to come back. Y'all a bunch of assholes. Like, why would I want to stay? And they knew, they'd been around me forever. So they knew what was going to happen. So I would have had to wait. Well, he's still there. The colonel's still there. The lieutenant colonel, that jackass is still there. They're all still there. So it would have been years of me pandering to like get back to the status I didn't even want in the first place. So I mean, and like I say, it's just so stressful, and you live in just this constant pressure and just fear that it's just they don't care. They make all the rules. There's nothing you can do. I remember when I sat in my hearing or whatever, my appeal hearing. I remember when I walked in and all these assholes are sitting at the table. The body language, they were like insulted that I was there. Two, they reminded me that like, oh, it can get worse from here. We've made our decision, but if we review it, we can now terminate you. they don't just shut up, man. And legal was in there, and everybody was in there. And I walked in, and they were like looking at their watch, like when is this? We got lunch. Like when is this kid gonna freaking like sit there? And like I had like if you looked at my stuff, like I laid out the absolute best possible rebuttal to all of their horse shit, and they took none of it under advisement, absolutely none of it. And like that was the funny part. We talked to like all the times I've been there. I asked him like, how many times has someone come to one of these hearings and you've reversed it? No one ever does, right? So you guys are right 1,000% of the time, and we're batting over. Get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah.
At least you had that. So here, I've done the IA episode numerous times. But what they did to me was, I got promoted on December 27th of 2020. I always get the dates wrong. 2021. So the incident happened November of 2022. The IA wasn't filed with the agency till January of 23, but they said because the incident occurred back on probation, and it's written, and you know it's fucked up when they write it in. I put it on the episode. You can see it written in there. They wrote it so that due to the fact that I was on probation when the incident occurred, I was being demoted for disciplinary for the founding complaints, but also they were undoing my probation and demoting me for probationary reasons. Even though I wasn't told I was extended, nothing was extended. I'd made probation, everything was fine. They went back, and that eliminated my opportunity to have a hearing. So call me a piece of shit. You can call me anything you want, say anything you want about me. When you go to the depths of that to finagle a date and make it write that to eliminate the ability for me to even have a fair trial, let's say, because I would have got to pick 2 guys from my team. The clown picks 2 guys from his team, and then the clown's guys and my guys pick 1 guy as a 5th, and then they vote. And whatever that board decides, they decide. I know I would have won 100%. And they knew I would have won, so they wrote
really,
it that way.
You go up against the bunch of idiots that you're trying to convince them to change their own, and their egos. I have an Oakley for my shoulder. I'm a state patrol, whatever I am. Shut up, man. Get out of here, that crap.
Yeah. So it's the system's not only is the system rigged, then it's rigged. They already have the upper hand. Like you said, there was nothing I could do. Like I looked at it, I'm looking at the union attorney. I'm like, bro, like there's nothing.
They make up. Yeah, we don't even have unions down here, so there's nothing you could. They make up all the rules of, and sometimes it works out in your favor. Like when I got promoted, I was still on probation. I was a corporal for like 9 days when they started like the crime suppression thing, and like they went through, and it goes against all the rules of anything. I was on probationary, so they're moving me around. They're sending memos, doing shit that like. You can't even do this like policy wise. You can't do this. Doesn't happen. You can't do any of it. And then on a Friday, they made like the crime suppression unit, and then just assigned me to a full-time supervisor to the crime suppression. No application. Like they didn't post the posting. We didn't have to interview. We didn't have to do anything. They just said ominous. You are now here because of this memo. I was like, this isn't even real. You can't even do this. This is not like whatever, fine, sure. But you can't even do this. But they do absolutely whatever they want. And if they have it in your mind that you're burned, you're burned, man. You can present them with the absolute best possible, like irrefutable evidence that they're fucking like what did he say? Nah. We're not like we're right. We're good. Nothing's gonna ever happen. So they just send you packing, man.
Yeah, I wanted to find because it's in my email. But anyway, I wanted to find. I talked about this. Please go watch that episode. If you're a cop, give me 40 minutes of your life just to understand that what can happen from simply what I call exercising my First Amendment rights. And they thought. And I always this makes me weird. They thought I was gonna hide because there's a steroid test at the end. I talk about everything. They should have known better because I always said it was on my mind. I've never hidden from any controversy. I've always said, this is what happened. This is the mistakes I made. And this is the other stuff. I have no problem talking about myself and I bet 95% of society will not sit in front of a camera like this or sit in front of people and say, I did all these things wrong. I was wrong here. I was wrong here. I was wrong here. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done TikTok. I should have done. They're not ready for that. The other thing they didn't realize when you read that memo is that was like the Grinch, man. I can see that idiot with the cowboy hat, Eric Flowers, sitting at his desk like the Grinch, and he's drawing up this thing. And the way it's written, the way the memo is written, I'm going to pull that up. I do have that. I want you to look at the way this memo is written and how it is. So this is a professional memo transfer me. Effective September 9th, 2024, you will be transferred from the Detective Criminal Investigations to Correction Deputy. You will no longer be a member of the SWAT team. That sentence is not a memo sentence. That sentence is a go fuck yourself, because he knew how important it was. There will be no changes in your annual salary or anniversary. So I'm not going to lose money, right? However, you are no longer entitled to SWAT pay, $1,500 a year, specialty pay, CID, $1,500 a year, clothing allowance, $500 a year. So essentially I'm losing, if my math is right, $3,500 there. Eliminated from overtime. All the patrol extra jobs I'm working, gone. So that memo was the Grinch with that long hair at the end of his fingers. That was like that, when it grew, or because he was kind of fat then, grew, or any of those other things. So that is the perfect display of what happens when they think they got you. Now, like I said, they didn't care about my family. They didn't care about my mortgage. They didn't care about my car payments, insurance, kids, any of that factored into that memo. They cared about burying me. Unfortunately for them, I have a massive company that they don't know about, and I'm able to survive and not have to work. So that's the type of things that administration does. They don't care. They don't lose any sleep over it, and that's why these podcasts are important to get this stuff out. So that's enough ranting on me. But that's some wild stuff. I'm gonna play this video. I have no backstory here. It's pretty wild, so it starts quick. There's a lot of moving parts, but I'm just gonna play it.
Oh! Stop fucking playing with me, bitch ass nigga. What? You think that affected me any? You want me to hit you again? You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? My God. Oh! Stop fucking playing with me.
So here, I watch it. I think my wife sent it to me. So I watch it the first time, and I'm like watching it. And then I didn't realize the teacher was a transvestite. So I'm like, okay, you have a black gentleman, maybe working on his law degree. I don't know what he's doing. He's in school. And then you have a teacher. Obviously, you can't smack somebody. Like, I got all that. But then I'm watching it and going, what a video for like everything that's going on in the world. That's just wild. You have a student that is obviously no supervision at home, no morals to smack anybody in that manner. Then the teacher is a fucking transvestite. So I'm like, bro, this video's got it all. And it just, and then you get called to that, man. Like
if that teacher was bluffing, he has a good poker face, because he was sitting there calm as shit, knowing he's about to receive violence, knowing he can't do anything about it. And he's like, whatever. He's like, he's not begging. He's not even, he's like, he didn't even say don't. He just said, I don't want it.
I'm like, I don't want you to do it again, but I don't, like, it was almost like he didn't care.
I don't care if you do it. Maybe the first one didn't hurt. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't understand where we're headed in this country. And like I said, our job is difficult enough. We're dealing with call. Like that's a call for service. At some point, the police came to that call. They had to have.
Absolutely. 100%.
So we have to go deal with that. We have to deal with the administration, dealing with all that. And you're a great example. Like nobody knows who I am. I'm just a stupid meme guy. Everybody knows you from all those videos. And like when we first talked, from what I saw on those videos, I would have thought you had the 1,000% backing from your agency, that you were working for like God, like everything was cool, everything was great. And that's how misleading. One, that's how misleading what you see is. Two, that shows the what I try to preach. Don't stop doing your job because you got shitbirds in charge of you, around you. Stop doing stuff for them.
And the part that was stupid about that was like, so all that shit was going down, like behind the scenes. They were building this little bullshit case against me, like behind the scenes. And I saw them all the time. and they would see me and act like absolutely nothing's going on when they know what's coming down the pipe. They know they're about to try and cut my head off, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing great. Get out there!" And they're like sending me cars to go hunt. Like we found this. Like, go. Why don't you go get this murderer or whatever? Get this murderer today, and then tomorrow we're gonna try and ruin your life. But today you should probably go try and get this murderer.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened to me. Like, I went to street crimes and I was going to look the text up. I'm not ready for that yet, but I have screenshots from all the messages and everything. And I was told essentially to do what I ultimately got in trouble for, which was go out there, smash criminals, tell them not in this fucking county, don't bring your shit here. And I took it. It was Michael Jackson's day, and I kind of took that personal, and I did it. And we were chasing guys on the interstate. I got up to the car, they were face down. We chased them for 10 minutes, got them, and I'm like, hey, motherfucker. We're not fucking doing that in this county. You can go tell your buddies and everybody else, not here. And then I was in charge of the social media posts. So I was lighting their ass up on social media, putting them on blast, pictures, and everybody loved it. And then they went soft. And then they went woke. Then
they could have. They hung a hard fucking left at Albuquerque with me, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still. I don't know if you have a computer up, just type in Georgia State Patrol Pit. And then click on images, and I want to see if because it was the most viewed like image on Google for like longest time, and I wonder if it's still there.
No, it's dogs. You are the first image, not a dog. Maybe here I'll pull it up. Share screen. You want Georgia State Patrol? GSP gets you.
Georgia State Patrol. Yeah, Georgia State Patrol. Georgia State Patrol Pit. As everybody knows, that's what the funny hats do.
Oh yeah, you're right, dude. Everything's you.
There we go.
Hold on. Here we go. Did you get it? Here we go. Add share screen. Georgia State Patrol Pit. Share and add. There it is. The big picture. The fucking box truck. Is this you? This one you? Is Ultima you?
You what?
Ultima, the red Ultima. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
And then
I don't fuck maybe. I don't know. I stopped pitting so many fucking Ultimas, I don't know.
That's in town. So you got this one, obviously.
That's still funny though. Like that's still the
funny thing. And this one,
I know they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit, but like some part of them probably looks at it like, God damn, this asshole still the representation of our agency.
Yeah, you are. I mean, there's just like I assume like when I jumped into the social media world, Anti-Hero and Tyler were like first guy show I went on, first person I dealt with. I assumed because they have such a large following, 100 and some thousand subscribers on YouTube, I'm like, I would just walk up to, oh yeah, the Anti-Hero, and they're like, what is that? Like a lot of people don't follow this, like, so they don't know what you were going through. They don't know. They just know Pitt, Georgia. The dude with the gray hair, like they know that. The asshole never wearing his fucking hat. That guy.
Yeah, that's right.
You're supposed to have a hat in all those pictures. That's probably why they're so mad. Fuck all the press. You don't have your hat on.
There's a picture somewhere around me wearing a hat, I'm sure, but there ain't a whole lot of them.
I've never seen it.
Fuck, I don't even have any of them. Yeah, unless it's like a graduation post or something. I don't fucking fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're the face of the if you type that in, and then they look at it and go, I mean, obviously the pickup truck one that got everybody. That was I think World Star picked it up. I'm pretty sure that we love dogs.
That was everywhere.
Yeah, so that's
Yep.
But nobody, and that, because of what I was getting at is because of nobody really paying much attention or knowing, everybody assumed you still worked there or are still there or, everything was great. And that's the thing is like, people they half pay attention because I post like this story, 5, 6, 8, 10,000 views on my story about the memo, a bunch of like 150, 200 messages, but I ain't got 250 streams yet. Like, where's all these people that really want to know that you got to go do the research? Like, just like you ask questions and you're like, hey man, that's right on Google. Why don't you go look it up? Or when you're arguing with me about something, like, that ain't it. It's right there, like free.
Yeah, fact check it, man. Fact check it before you come in here and start making noise.
Yeah. And he's talking about FHP. FHP's going pretty off the rails too. I mean, they definitely took a turn towards aggressive. I see them motorcycles. They're knocking motorcycles.
They went like that was there's an agency here like the Cab Kit. DeKalb County, the east side, they were, and DeKalb County is shit. Like they're as wild as fuck over in DeKalb, and they could do nothing. They were so unbelievably restricted. It was insane. And then I wish I could get a hold of it. I could probably find the memo because it went around. I'll probably find the memo. It was like a two paragraph memo, and like the paraphrase, it was like we are reversing our pursuit policy. You will chase and apprehend criminals. You will, like it was like balls to the wall, like on fucking one day, and they did, man. They had like 17 chases like the first fucking day.
Yeah, I looked up mine.
That's good, and they stuck with it, and they're still going hard, man. They're locking people up, man. They're putting in work over there, dude.
I looked up my name on Google, and it's real cool. It's the left is SWAT guy suspended for TikTok. The middle is me in a nice suit, and then the right hand is a life-saving award for a drowning suspect. So I got all of them covered.
Nice.
I got the clean sweep across the top. No cool pictures like that, but a little bit of everything. So, all right, man. I appreciated you coming on. You guys, this is on Counterculture. My Instagram, my YouTube, and my Facebook. I appreciate you guys listening. Tune in 9:00 tonight on YouTube. Dom Izzo, Cop Talk Live will be on, and we'll be back next week for another episode of Hot Topic. Appreciate it, guys.